it's like we've seen Dak like throw darts. You know what I mean? He's throwing
Mm-hmm.
darts, so it's like, and it's not like when he's missing his interceptions because he's overthrown it or anything crazy. It just seems like he has his fair share of interceptions. The ones that we always say, hey, all right, that wasn't on Dak. The Dak haters they're gonna blame it on Dak either way. Like the Peyton Hendershot
Mm-hmm.
one.
Welcome back, everybody. The Dallas Cowboys take down the Titans 27-13. Nice road victory against what appeared to be the Tennessee JV football team. Talk to me, bro.
Nah, I mean, I think we all had a kind of like a clear view of what we wanted to see. We thought, they would just benching their starters and we would just come out there and, be a big blowout. The perfect game just to kind of propel us to the playoffs and everything like that. But, it's still NFL, man. And, the Cowboys, I think, playing 3 games in a 12-game stretch. The only thing I wanted to see coming out of this game was, maybe, if we do blow them out, maybe we could rest our starters and hopefully we don't get anything big popping up as far as injuries. But, unfortunately, I think the major takeaway from that game is I think we got very beat up, man. I think I would have rather had maybe even lost this game rather than deal with the injuries we dealt with. So, that's the only downfall to it. But, I mean, I take a win. Cowboys win is always good, man. So, I'll take how you feeling?
We are super banged up, and it just seems to keep piling on. But it is that time of the year where guys start falling.
Yeah.
We were able to cut. The line closed at 13.5. We did cover that, so that's nice. But like you were saying, the injuries are piling up. It should have been a blowout, but I think the turnovers, man, I think they got 10 points off of turnovers. And those were all drives. We were moving the ball. We probably could have put points on the board there. So there was a chance of this game being a blowout. It just didn't happen.
All of the points they scored was directly off of what we gave them. You know what I mean? I think, it's easy to look back at every game and you say, what if this happened and what if this didn't happen? I just think as soon as we stopped turning the ball over, we made our second half adjustments. We put the game away pretty fast. We just kept them in it a lot longer than they should have been in it. But I think if we want to look at some of the positives of this game, what's some of the standouts that you could take away from this one?
Off the top, man, CeeDee Lamb, I was bashing him all year, but I think he's finally beginning to take that step that we've been waiting for.
Crazy right now.
I got his stat line. Give me 1 second.
Balling.
11 catches for 100 yards. Him and Dak are clicking on all cylinders, and that's something that we like to see. Obviously, Cooper wasn't getting him the ball like that when Dak was out, but yeah, what do you think about CeeDee? You think that's a standout?
Yeah, man. I thought, CeeDee Lamb, period, man. This duo with him and Dak, man, you see he was able to hit 100 yards again. That's 3 games in a row. Also, with that game, he's able to get over 100 catches on the season. Nobody has done that except for Jason Witten and Terrell Owens, man. It's big accomplishments, man. And just to think that a player, his first year, being a number 1 receiver in an offense that's, I can't even really say we passed first. We try to be run heavy, man, but I think it's big, man. CeeDee Lamb is balling. And I just think the duo is getting better and better and better. It looked like each game, the chemistry is getting better. Kellen Moore is finally kind of learning him as far as moving him around, just putting him in positions where he can get that yak, man. So, man, CeeDee, I can't say enough about CeeDee, man. He had a lot of doubters early in the season, but I'm glad, he's proven everybody right, man. The ones that truly believed in him. Amari went out. He's definitely proven he can be a number 1 receiver, man. And to me, he's creeping up to be top 5, if not, top 7, top 8, somewhere right there, along that, along them numbers right away.
Speaking of that, I believe it was on Twitch the other last night or the night before. Tyreek Hill was on there talking up CeeDee Lamb, talking about how smooth he is. That's beast to get recognition from one of the best receivers in the game. Another standout that I had, of course, is going to be Dalton Schultz, man. Another one that Dak just clicks with. He's not a great tight end, but he does everything good. You know what I mean? So he's probably the best average tight end in the NFL right now, where he's not a great blocker, he's not a great receiver, but he does everything.
And I think outside of CeeDee now, I think just this is one of the guys that Dak just trusts the most. He knows exactly where he needs to be at all times, and I think Dak just knowing as I go through my reads, if I'm gonna look here, Schultz gonna be there. You know what I mean? Enough can't be said about that.
Right.
The first touchdown catch was, you know what I mean, a little easy catch, strolling, but the second one, he showed a little wide receiver skill on that one, was able to high point a little bit, man. Got a little highlight reel going on. That was dope. Unfortunately, I'm playing against Dalton Schultz in my fantasy, so he might have just put me to bed this week. But I take it. And just staying with the receivers, the pass catchers of the Dallas Cowboys. I also thought T.Y. Hilton, man, coming in, he made big time catch after big time catch. And it just seems like every catch he made was on third down, moving the chains, clutch time. And I think, a standout for me, seeing that and going into the playoffs, he's kind of developing that chemistry right away with a Dak Prescott. Almost kind of reminds me similar to when, Amari Cooper came in and they just kind of like instantly clicked. And I think a part of that is just him being a veteran receiver and also knowing where he needs to be and just being another guy there that Dak can trust. And I think 2 games in, man, the early results is very promising, man. What you think about T.Y.?
Just to double up on T.Y., man. So last night he has 4 catches for 50 yards on 5 targets. Might have added CeeDee had 14 targets last night. I did see David Hellman tweeted before the game. So T.Y. has been targeted. This was obviously the previous games. 3 times as a Cowboy, and he's converted 2 third downs and a 4th down. 2 catches and 1 was a holding flag. Big. So I mean, his impact is felt. Staying on the offensive side, I thought Malik Davis, man, he looked good last night with the touches he got.
Yeah.
All in all, 10 carries, so he averaged 3.9 per carry against a really good run defense. And then in the receiving game, 2 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards, man. And that 1 catch was a huge play. The 18-yarder.
Show some soft hands, man.
So I thought,
I like Malik, man. I like him.
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught it on the broadcast last night, but I guess he split time at Florida with Dameon Pierce, like a 50-50 backfield.
I didn't know that.
And I didn't peep that headed into the season, so he is a good back. And I know we talked real quick about the 4th back on our team. It's Olesen from Atlanta.
Bigger back. Picked him up early part of the season. Right. Okay.
What other standouts do you have?
I think that would be it from the the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I think just from the eye test, what I was able to see, man, I think DeMarcus Lawrence he actually had another good game, flash and highly productive, high motor. I thought Micah, even though it didn't show up in the stat sheet or whatever, obviously he has that same impact. You see guys jumping off sides. They was kind of just putting like 3 players over there. You see double tight ends, chips here, left tackle over there. He's fighting through a lot of traffic right now, but he's impacting the game in a lot of major ways. And outside of that, I thought Donovan Wilson, man, just coming out making plays. But we banged up, man. I'm not even going to sit here and act like from the defensive side of the ball, it was a lot of people that was just jumping off the screen of me, man. I do want to talk about the flip side of that, right? I thought Nashon Wright, that play he had, I like that. Got a little reel on the highlight tape or whatever, high point the ball, catching it. I would say he's better. He's shown better than Kelvin Joseph up until this point. But I think at this point he's been very average. I just hope it doesn't, burn us at the worst time. He got another game. Whether we rest our starters or not, will he play? I do want to see more of him out there. Hopefully he gets more comfortable, man. And we finally got a Jabril Cox sighting, so that was exciting to see, like, towards the end of the game.
To stay on Micah real quick, so pretty much, did you see the play when he came, like, sprinting on the field last second? Didn't even get set and got a tackle for loss?
I might have missed that one.
Like, he was the last one out there, missed the whole huddle, came hauling ass in there. Doesn't even get set, boom, tackle for loss. Like, that's crazy how quick he can impact the defense. But staying at the cornerback position, Deron Bland, that's another standout for me, man. He got close to sacks. Nashon Wright, I know we talked about it previously, but I do think that we probably ran like some soft coverage yesterday, like kind of like Dobbs. You can have the underneath, but you're not beating us over the top.
Getting beat for like 50-yard touchdowns like Kelvin Joseph. Like, his thing, it just seems like, guys was getting open, moving the chains, first downs a lot. But, I'll take it. Bimba don't break defense. I'll take that versus, getting over the top and scoring all day. So, wasn't bad.
I do think two that we've got two solid corners in Bland and Diggs. I do think Diggs is better in the nickel, inside. But when we're in a nickel, more than likely we're going to have a liability on the field at corner. Speaking of that, I want to talk about Kelvin Joseph, man. So another dumb penalty. He actually is tied for the most penalties on the Cowboys with 8, and he's given up 94 yards on the season from those penalties. Not to mention when he got burned up in Jacksonville twice. So he's kind of becoming a liability, and he needs to tighten things up. Give me your thoughts there.
Nah, it don't seem like his head all the way in the game right now. You know what I mean? And as much as we love, people making plays and the physical, and because he has all the traits, but almost, especially at this time of the year, like I would say 80%, 70% of it is mental, especially when everybody beat up. So if everybody beat up and, everybody's going through it, you definitely have to be sharp on the mental side right now. And it just seems like, he's there for, a series here. And then, he makes a bonehead mistake there, man. We can't have that, especially as, we're trying to clean up everything. Everything matters, all the way down to the field position, ball control, like everything, So we can't have those mistakes, man. And I think he's in the doghouse. I don't foresee him getting back out there. Nashon Wright, he went out. I was kind of surprised that he did get a couple snaps in there. I thought, Bland would just move outside and maybe a Mackenzie Alexander would get some snaps right away. But I think Bossman Fat was the first off the bench there. But I think it's time. I don't think he's getting back in there over Nashon Wright. And I think I don't want to call him a bust yet, but I mean, as of right now and what we see, I think he is who he is, man, until he changed the narrative. So that's all I can say about him, man.
I think with Joseph too, man, like I think he's a great athlete, but I don't think he loves football. And I think it's kind of obvious with the way things have gone. Like you said, it doesn't seem like his head's really in the game. Because I feel like if he loved football, like he would have tightened up a bit. Like maybe it's just a check to him. It's just like a 9 to 5 type job.
Honestly, he maybe just need some players like that. Maybe just need like a veteran presence in the cornerback room. Outside of Al Harris, like all of our cornerbacks are young. Like Diggs, Bland, like all of these guys are young. The oldest guys are Anthony Brown. You know what I mean? But I would say maybe that, and maybe next year or two, man, he gets some mentorship and maybe he's able to turn it around. Like I said, it's still early. He never really had too many snaps. This year I would say outside of the last couple of games of last season was the first time he got some meaningful snaps. And then coming off of a crazy off season like he had, you can't expect. We look at him sometime or like they're just players or they're human. Like he probably got some things going on upstairs, man. And then maybe just maybe he's able to block it out. But as of right now, this year I don't want to see too much more of that, man. I'll take my chances. I think right now, what I want to start talking about is we're talking about these cornerback positions, which is now looking like a weakness, man. And definitely the pass rush. I thought, we was able to get home one time. I think the second sack was Donovan Wilson. He was able to get in there, but the pass rush is still it hasn't been what it was. And I think, going off of the secondary, kind of taking that step back, whether it was due to injuries or whatnot, we would need the pass rush to, kind of pick it up a little bit later. Especially right now. So I would just say, man, going into this next game, whether we're going to rest or what, man, the injuries is piling up, man. And, Tyler Biadasz, just the flip sides of the ball, that injury. What do you think that does for the offensive line and the offense as a whole, man? Like what would that look like?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So one of my downvotes, actually, or guys that I thought didn't do well last night, Jason Peters in pass protection, man. And I know we talked about it previously, like he can move north and south all day, but east and west, he just doesn't have that anymore. And he was getting burned up out there at left tackle.
He's slow, man.
Yeah. Slow as hell, but great in the run game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like phenomenal run blocker. But losing Biadasz, do we still have Lindstrom on the practice squad?
I'm not sure what happened to Lindstrom, man. I know he's not the backup center right now, so maybe he's on. I have to double check that. Not sure if he's on injury reserve.
I'm pretty sure we waived him.
What, but I don't even think he's next in line right now. So we definitely hurting right there. We can't really take too many more injuries right now, man. Especially on the offensive line, we already kind of dealing with what we have at the moment, man. So once we get into these playoffs, it ain't gonna get easier. Like if you're looking at potential matchups, you think about it. We already know what Philly they could bring to the table. You know what a San Fran can do. Assuming Washington makes it, if they get there, we'll see them next week in that defensive line. Assuming with some of these players play or not, I don't know, but it's some beefy fronts up there, man, with some big boys in the middle. So it can be understated how important a guy is, to have in the middle. That not only just blocking, but from the mental aspects, being a guy that just kind of just points out things, help Dax with the checks in and out of, different looks and things like that is very important, man. And to lose that this late in the season, I do think the next guy would be a Conor McGovern. I don't know who else would be able to get in there and be serviceable. He did take snaps in the preseason, so that's the only thing I did hear is only ankle sprain. The benefit of that is we got I would say approximately about 17 days if you take this 10 mini bye that we got going into the next week. So for him to get ready, if that's enough time to heal from ankle sprain, high ankle sprain at that, we'll have to see. But it's better than we thought, but it may not be good either way.
Right. And why'd they have that man barefoot on the cart like that on TV, bro? That's so embarrassing. Brock Hoffman is our backup center, rookie from Virginia Tech.
That might not be good, man. So I doubt he would be able to, get in there. I think what we saw, that first initial change, unfortunately, 3 guys having to change spots, I think that's next up. So,
but I mean, we did get the win. We came out damaged, like we talked about. Dak needs to tighten up, like for real. And I'm actually beginning to wonder if he's hurt, like for real, because didn't he have that like armpit issue or something, or was that the year before? I wonder, like
the cuff or something like that with his thumb.
Yeah, something's just not right there. I don't know if it's like his processing or if maybe he's just beat up in general. But some of these throws are so out of character. I
just have to rebuttal on that, man, because it's like we've seen Dak like throw darts. You know what I mean? He's throwing darts, so it's like, and it's not like when he's missing his interceptions because he's overthrown or anything crazy. It just seems like he has his fair share of interceptions, the ones that we always say, hey, all right, that wasn't on Dak. The Dak haters they're gonna blame it on Dak either way, like the Peyton Hendershot one. But then like the one that was second after that, man, there's no excuse for it, man. You take a risk. First half is about to end. You throwing into double coverage. It's just bad processing at this point, man. I just think sometimes he has to realize, it's cool when to be aggressive and when not. He got to find a balance, man. And unfortunately, man, it just hasn't balanced out. But the good thing is, he's throwing his interceptions, but we're still averaging about 35, 36 per game, since he's came back. So, we're scoring a lot. I just wish we would take care of the ball and protect this defense that, unfortunately just hasn't been what it was early in the season.
Right. And especially like you can't be thrown into double coverage with a lead headed into the half.
Smarter,
like, you go look at your check down, man. Like you're better off almost taking a sack there, or at least throwing the ball away. If you got timeouts, man, just stand in the pocket and figure it out.
Yeah.
But that'll probably wrap it up on my end. Do you have any final words?
I think the main thing I just want to take away from this, man, is just I know it was a game where we felt like we should have blew them out. But then you got to understand, man, a win is a win. We still beat them by 2 scores. I know just looking at the eye test of things, I know how we wanted to see. We still got a lot of flaws, but so do a lot of other teams. I think we press a lot bit more because we're Cowboy fans and we watched our team and how much we pressed and kind of want to see them win and the way we want to see them win. But I think we'll be all right, man. Just coming off a late Sunday night game in Philly against a tough divisional rival. You just got to realize, man, we very beat up. That's 3 games in 12 nights, 12 days, however you want to say. And then you have a Tennessee Titans team that even though they rested all of their players or whatever, these guys that they brought in were fresh. And they still, they came into play, man. So shout out to them. All games are tough, especially this time of the year, man. Take that dub, man. And, going into this next week, man, hopefully, things are just kind of swinging upward as far as the injury, man. So let's cross our fingers, stay safe. Shout out Cowboy Nation. Don't forget they hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. Appreciate y'all. Stay tuned.